Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel, starting up with the 144,000, which should be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven, which the 144,000 will consist of all men. And then you have a lot of the one-third here, a large multitude of believers, which will include men, women, and children that will be saved in America. You also have 2/3 of our people, the majority of our people here in America, that will be destroyed. Um, you also have the rebels that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be destroyed. You have the elect that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be saved. Right? Of you Israelites, who the world ignorantly calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, the Panamanians, Cubans, right? We are the Israelites. Um, Contrary to what you've been told, contrary to what you've been brought up to believe in, right? The Lord's waking up His people in these latter days, especially the elect, because that's who matters. That's who's going to be saved. I'm your brother Yeremia, coming back at y'all with a quick lesson. As y'all can see, it says hundreds of thousands around the globe protest Trump tariff agenda. Now, the first scripture I thought of, Second Esdras, man. We in those times. Second Esdras, I'm gonna go straight to it. You know, this thing is happening. You know, this thing is happening when people are gonna rebel. People have been doing that. A lot of you leaders are y'all gonna get put to death. Because people are not going for the stuff. That these Edomites are um doing, man. People tired of you Edomites, man. Your own people are tired of you, right? People are tired of the tyranny, right? But hey, we told you, man, that death, destruction was coming to the whole world. It ain't gonna just happen in America. And people are gonna uprise. They gonna, go against the grain. They gonna be tired. They gonna riot. They gonna do all these things. It says Second Esdras 15:14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." You see, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. All this coming, right? Which, like I said, has been happening in certain countries, but it's really about to start happening here in Babylon too. People gonna really start, coming out in mass numbers, protesting, rioting, because they sick of what's going on, and they see that they can't make it and afford their day to day, necessities that they need to live, right? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another." Right? That's gonna come soon. People are gonna break into each other's houses, do home invasions, right? They shall not regard their kings nor princes. That's a form of that. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So these leaders, they're not gonna back down either. They're gonna come harder and harder and harder the more you people push back against them. Which the Lord is in control of all of this, right? The Lord's in control of all of this. The Lord, is stirring up these people's spirits to do what they do. Right? This is Luke 12:51. It says, "Suppose ye that I have come to give peace on earth? I will tell you nay, but rather division." You see? I can read verse 52. It says, "From henceforth there should be 5 in one house divided, and 3 against 2, and 2 against 3." You see? And this ain't just talking about, Israelites and this truth, or Israelites outside the truth. It's talking about a lot of people, man. You Christians, you wicked people in the world. The Lord is bringing division all around. That lovey-dovey spirit, where everybody be saying, well, we got to unite, we got to come together, we got to do that. That ain't going to happen, man. That sounds good, to you, because it keeps you at peace, because you thinking that, somebody is going to kind of help guide you or hold your hand. Can't nobody save nobody, man. It don't matter who it is. The scriptures tell you, in 2nd Esdras 15, let's go back. 2nd Esdras 15. Right? Let's read it. What was I in verse? I read verse 16. I'm gonna get verse 17. It says, "A man should desire to go to the city, he should not be able." Trump just signed some type of I believe it's called the Insurrection Act, where basically they gonna give more power to the military and police to enforce military action and laws. Hey, you gonna start seeing soldiers on the streets with guns, just walking around everywhere, especially in large gatherings. They gonna start enforcing checkpoints. We in that time. We in that time. This is verse 18. It says, "For because of their pride, cities should be troubled, and the house should be destroyed, and men should be afraid." All of this coming. And people are afraid, man. That's why they protesting, right? That's why, they trying to cause a scene. They trying to get their leaders' attention, but that ain't gonna work. It's gonna get worse and worse. Verse 19. This is for you people that wanna, we gotta unite, we gotta come together, we're so divided. Hey, man, it's meant to be like that. This world is fucking wicked, man. Most people on earth, they don't give a damn about Yahweh Shema Shah, man. This is verse 19. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword." Right, that's coming. It says, "And spoil their goods because of the lack of rain for great tribulation." And right now in America, when you people find out, like I said, what's been done to them and what's being done. Hey, like I said, a lot of you leaders, y'all gonna get that sword put to your throat, literally. That's going to happen. It's gonna be worse. People ain't gonna just be sitting in one setting and just chanting. Nah, they gonna go to your houses. They gonna find out where you stay at, right? They gonna go to government buildings, tear them bitches up. It's gonna be like the purge out here. That's how bad it's gonna be. That's why the scripture says, "Woe to the world." And it says there's people gathering around the globe. People are. The Lord is plaguing this place, man. America, you Edomites around the world, which Esau is ruling, y'all had y'all time of rulership, and that time is up. Right? And a lot of you Jakes, hey, stop playing fucking games, man. Things are happening. Things can happen. Things gonna happen. They can happen any day. But we know the majority of our people, they're not gonna fucking wake up, man. They gonna be fucking blinded, even though they may see things are bad, but you still trust in this place. You still hope for things to get better. Your heart's desire is still focused on, getting a fucking career, man. Ain't gonna be no fucking career. Your ass ain't gonna be able to eat. The money ain't gonna mean shit. What are you chasing? You chasing shit that don't mean nothing. And this man is showing you, with his actions, putting tariffs on these countries and, taking away certain benefits from you Jakes, like DEI and all these different things, which that's really another video for another day. But that shit don't matter anyway. You shouldn't be expecting nothing from the fucking devil. But this is I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes 3. Right, this is Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1. The scripture is telling you and showing you that, hey, there's a time and place for everything, right? Verse 1 says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven," meaning on the earth. "A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, right? And a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, right? A time to weep, and a time to laugh, and a time to mourn, and a time to dance," right? It says, verse 5, it says, "A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, and a time to embrace, and time to refrain from embracing." We in that time. We not supposed to be embracing this world. We were never supposed to be doing that, but especially now than ever. We supposed to be detaching ourselves from this place. Even our fucking families, they're not in the fucking truth. They gonna get it on this side, man. And they gonna turn us in, man. Like I said, I'm talking about a lot of stuff kind of a little bit, but it's just division in the air. People are mad. People are, fed up. So don't expect no mercy, to come, except you be part of the elect. Because this world is crumbling. And it's getting worse and worse by the day. And that's why we're going to need the Lord in these times, man. We ain't going to be able to, fight against what's coming down the pipe. And he wants these things to happen so he can enforce the NWO. They're going to bring out robots, super soldiers, all these different things. And they're going to just be, when they enforce martial law, it ain't going to just be regular men. They're going to have robots, in the army. They're going to use drones, You know, they gonna show you everything they got. This is Daniel 12, and now I close out in 1. Because the elect, they gonna call on the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he's gonna answer. It's Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, for standing for the children of thy people, and there should be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time shall people be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book. So Lord willing, we written in that book. You know, Lord willing, we a part of that number. Right? You know, because there's only chaos that's going to happen, especially in the next couple of weeks, like I did on my last couple of videos. The shelves going to be empty, and people are going to get more and more wild out here, man. You know, it might be a little calm now, but nah, it's going to come fast. Watch, you know, this summer when everybody is out, they ain't going to be just having a good time, right? People going to be suffering, crying, you know, and they're going to be raging, you know, killing each other. These things are going to happen, right? And only the elect is going to be saved out of this, man. I'm going to close out, you know, hey, keep fighting, Jake. Keep fighting, man. You know, talking to myself first and foremost, hey, fast, pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to give you more faith. We going to need it. You know, we not fighting against this, man, carnally or with our own power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is in control of this, man, and we need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to get us out of this situation, because he's going to come down with great wrath. You know? But I'm going to close out. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Till next time, I want to say, Abba, Babal, Shalom.